So I'm sure you've heard time and time again when you're trying to get in better shape, whether you're trying to lose weight or whatever it might be, even fitness related, that you should set goals to make sure you keep yourself motivated. And honestly, I'm going to argue why I think not only is this a mistake, but it might only be stopping you from reaching your goals, getting down on yourself, and eventually possibly even giving up altogether. And if goals is something you've always struggled with, I can't really blame you. Like I said, you hear it all the time. And even when I went through my NASM personal trainer certification, they preached about goals too. They called it SMART goals. And the SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, some will actually say relevant, and timely. But to me, it's that time-based part at the end that's the big issue that destroys a lot of people. I've seen way more people struggle because of these goals rather than actually be helped by it, especially when it comes to weight loss goals with a deadline. I think weight loss goals in general are dangerous just because you don't really know how things are going to go. You don't know how you're going to look at a certain number. The number isn't really even what you're after anyways. You're after a look. So coming up with some arbitrary number can make you feel like things aren't going well, especially if you're building some muscle and you're seeing changes and things are going well, but you're not getting the number you want. That can make you feel down, like things aren't working, even though everything is going just fine. And that scale number doesn't tell you that. But what makes it even more dangerous is when you say, I want to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of time. This is killing you, and I want to urge you not to do this. Again, some people will argue, some people I very much respect say that you should do this. I don't agree. I've almost never seen it be helpful for people. Now, if it's helpful for you and you like it, by all means, do what works well for you. Like I say all the time, we can't put everyone in a box, but I'm just telling you, in my experience with working with hundreds of people, this does not go well for almost everybody, and it going well is kind of like the anomaly. And the reason it's so dangerous is because I truly believe that happiness is the difference between your expectations and what you get. And half the time when you create weight loss goals with a deadline, it's unrealistic to begin with. It's losing weight much faster than you even should. You're going to sacrifice a lot of muscle just to reach that goal if you even were to reach it. So if you're setting up an unrealistic goal to begin with and you don't hit it and you feel down about it, you basically set yourself up for failure. But even if it is a realistic goal, that doesn't mean that just because you didn't reach that goal that you're a failure or things went poorly. You may have seen great results, but it wasn't quite as good as you wanted. But now because you didn't reach your goal in the time you wanted to, you get down on yourself, you feel like you failed. Sometimes that can make you spiral out of control the other way. I've seen this happen several times. Someone might have a goal to get to a certain weight by a certain date and they just barely miss it. I mean, they were right there, but because you get so distraught about missing your goal and feeling like you screwed everything up, and all of a sudden you just go the other way completely and you go off the rails and you undo all your progress, all because you had some arbitrary weight loss goal with a deadline. And that's why a lot of times these challenges, I kind of cringe when I see them, because while it can work well for some people and it gives you something to do if it's part of your lifetime plan and you just like doing different things, great. But if you're just doing this like 90-day challenge because you think that's going to get you a result and then you can just be done, you're setting yourself up for failure. Now, this doesn't mean that all goals are just a bad idea, and I don't think having end goals necessarily is a bad idea, as long as you don't feel like you're worth less until you actually reach that goal, as long as that goal isn't your only motivator to keep going, or if you feel down on yourself because you feel like it's taking too long. In fact, one thing you probably don't realize is the longer it takes and the harder it is, the more it positively changes you, the more pride you build. The more you can do that, the better off you're going to be, because everything in life that's worth having, it's not going to be easy. It's going to take time. And by not giving up when things get hard and pushing through, this is where you really change yourself from the inside out. And even for myself personally, all the goals that I've accomplished that took a long time and were much harder than I thought they would be, those are the ones that I'm most proud of, that built confidence and changed me. Even just weightlifting goals. I remember as a powerlifter, I had a goal to deadlift 515 pounds. It took me a long time to get there. I deadlifted 500 pounds relatively fast. I thought, okay, it's just an extra 15 pounds. It took me a year and a half of struggling and failing over and over to get that 515. But once I finally got it, that felt so good. I just like bursted out and I was that guy in the gym, but I was so happy about it. I was so proud that I finally did that and didn't give up. That stuff carries over into everything in your life. And that's what I love about the fitness lifestyle and lifting weights. It teaches you, like, when you don't let the weights beat you, you don't let life beat you, because it teaches you such valuable lessons about what happens when you don't give up and what happens when you're able to accomplish things that you didn't think you were able to accomplish. That has such carryover to make you a better, stronger person. I don't care what anybody says. You can call it cliche. You can say it's just lifting weights. I don't agree. I think it makes a big difference, but only if you look at this stuff the right way and stop putting so much pressure on the results and just focus focus on the process. The other problem with things like weight loss goals is even if you do end up accomplishing it, a lot of times you can feel so lost once you get there. Like you don't know what to do now. And you feel like, well, I've done it. I've reached my goal. Now what? I think oftentimes this is part of why you end up just gaining the weight back anyways, because you just feel like, well, I'm done now. Like, I don't know what else to do. So it's really easy to feel kind of lost and unmotivated once you've reached that goal. So you need to know that it's not about being done. It's not about, I'm happy once I get to this certain goal. It's about, okay, I feel proud. I'm glad I did this. But now what? What's next? What is your next goal? Because if you are only motivated by weight loss, you're gonna have this problem for the rest of your life. So you need to start looking for more goals, whether that be performance-based goals, or maybe you're gonna go through a muscle building phase to try to build and cut back again down the later and look even better the next time. Whatever it may be, you need something else to keep you driven and not just that first goal that you had. So instead of looking for things like result-based goals, I urge you to start focusing on process-based goals. What are you going to do to get there? Just saying, I want to lose 40 pounds isn't really going to get you there. I mean, it might get you started because you feel motivated by it, but how do you keep going? What are you going to do to reach that goal? So instead, start focusing on, okay, I have a goal of working out 4 days per week or however many it's going to be. My goal is to track every single day or try to stay within a range of my calories for the week. And things like this that are the things that you do that get you to that goal. Because if you just focus on the result goal, I can promise you at some point, it's going to feel like it's not working, like it's not worth the effort. You're going to convince yourself that you might as well just not do anything anyways because it's too hard. And you're going to stop going when you were on your way. You just didn't realize it, probably because your time frame was too short to begin with. So instead of focusing on the result, focus on the process. Understand it has to be a lifestyle and keep going. Now, if you're someone who's always struggled with starting over, this could be part of it, but I think there's an even bigger reason that's happening up here mentally, and it's probably something you don't even realize you're doing. And once you do realize this, it will be so eye-opening and change everything for you. So if you want to lose the weight and finally keep it off, make sure you check out this top video next, and I'll explain what's happening to you and why you keep starting over and what you can do to get past that. Otherwise, I think you'll like this bottom video instead. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll see you next time.